What up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red. And we back for some more of that Ali Land boxing talk, people. And today we talking Bob Arum working on Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford for June or July. Alright, y'all, so I recently made a video regarding the possibility of a matchup between Manny Pacquiao and Terence Bud Crawford. Now, if you want to check that video out, I believe it was my last video, so you can go back and check that video out as well as this video. I always remember, if you want more great content like this from Cardinal Red and Ali Land Boxing Talk, hit that like button for me. Please subscribe, leave me a comment. It helps the algorithm. Alright, y'all, so according to BoxingNews247.com, Bob Arum is working on a potential matchup between his top-ranked fighter, Terence Bud Crawford, and PBC Boxing fighter, Manny Pacquiao, Senator of the Philippines, one of the most amazing boxers to ever lace up the gloves. So, according to Chris Williams, Bob Arum says he is working on trying to put together a fight between welterweight champion Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford for June or July in a unification, according to @talkboxing.com. Arum says if he can't put together the Pacquiao-Crawford fight, then he'll look to set up a fight between former IBF 147 champ Kell Brook and Terence Crawford. I don't want to give away the full article, but according to this article, Brook has made it clear that he wants to face Terence Crawford. Alright, y'all, so I would actually have to say, I believe I said in my last fight, this is a 60-40 chance, in my last video, that there's a 60-40 chance of this fight actually happening. I'm going to raise that up a little bit because of the fact, now, Earl Spence has made it perfectly clear he wants Pacquiao next as well. Mikey Garcia is calling Pacquiao out. Here's the thing, the bad thing about being Manny Pacquiao right now. All this is great for the publicity of Pacquiao and the longevity of his career, but is Pacquiao actually in the mood to retire? Is all of this, the fact that he is still so successful in the sport, keeping him within the sport, that maybe he's actually ready to remove himself from? So I think that's a bad thing on his behalf if he's actually ready to remove himself from the sport. Now, if he's not ready to remove himself from the sport, this is nothing but the greatest news when you hear guys, young guys like Crawford, Spence, Garcia, even guys wanting rematches. Kell Brooks throws his name in there. He wants to face Pacquiao. Amir Khan wants a shot at Pacquiao. Lomachenko wants a shot. So, if Pacquiao's ultimate goal is to unify those belts and just prove one last point to the sport of boxing by unifying the welterweight division, this is nothing but good news for Pacquiao. Now, if his goal is not to unify belts, but to just keep facing the best competition until he has to bow out of the sport and he knows that he can't do it anymore, then it's a good thing and a bad thing, because it could get to the point to where he just has a bad night one night, versus one of these guys. And I would hate, and here's my problem with it, I would hate for it to be against a lesser opponent. And in my eyes, Adrian Broner was a lesser opponent. In my eyes, Mikey Garcia is a lesser opponent. In my eyes, Danny Garcia is a lesser opponent. So if you were to pair him up against these guys and Pacquiao has a bad night and takes a loss in the fashion of when he lost to Jeff Horn, that would just suck at this point in his career, because he's done so much and accomplished so much. The only way I want to see him go down is to a legend in the making, or another legendary fighter. I don't want to see him go down to the likes of another Jeff Horn or somebody even lesser than Jeff Horn. So a lot at play here. Can Bob Arum actually reach across the table and work with Al Heyman? You know, we all know the shiesty and shady nature of Bob Arum when it comes to dealing with Pacquiao now, because I think he feel like he thought Pacquiao's career was over and Pacquiao had a reemergence, and now he's in a position to where he kind of looks like he has a lot of egg on his face because you let one of the best boxers in the world in the history of the sport go because you thought Bud Crawford was a better fighter. Now you had the opportunity while both guys were under your banner to make a super fight that you refused to make for whatever reasons. Go back and check my last video if you want to know the real reasons. But for whatever reasons people want to put out there, you refuse to make that fight. And now you have to reach across the table and actually take half of the money you would have gotten if you would have just made the fight while both guys were there. So he has to humble himself and realize that, you know, Pacquiao is the A-side, no matter what anybody wants to say. He's the more famous fighter. He's the pay-per-view proven fighter. He's the guy who sold tickets for over 20 years. So he is the A-side, and Crawford has to be the B-side. So, you know, at this point, you just have to take less money and move on if you really want that fight and you really want to prove that Crawford is the best guy out there. You know, once again, like I said, man, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Hit that like button for me. Please subscribe if you want more content. If you want to be a part of the Ali Land Boxing Talk community, always leave me a comment. I do reply to every comment. Unless you're commenting on another comment, then sometimes I don't get notifications for that. So don't think I'm not going to reply. Eventually I will get to it. But if you want to get at me directly, you have to leave me a comment, you know. So I think that's it for now. Actually, I want to ask you guys to do this for me, man. At 1 out of 10, what do you guys, you know, 10 being the best possible chance and 1 being the least possible chance, I want you guys to leave a number, if you made it this far within the video, down in the comment section. Leave me from 1 to 10. What's in your eyes, what are the chances of Pacquiao actually fighting Terence Bud Crawford? And with that being said, my man, I think we out of here.